Matthew, welcome to the Peace One Day broadcast.
We are here, my friend.
Yeah, we are here, and you've helped me a lot over the last few months, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I appreciate what you're doing, and if we could be a part of it in any way, we want to be a part of it.
Yeah, cool.
So, thank you.
So listen, Peace One Day, this broadcast, this day, why is it so important to you?
I think that I've been a student of peace myself for a long time. I worked with Yoko Ono and the John Lennon educational tour bus, where we went around the country in the US and also in Europe promoting the concept of peace. I think it starts with empathy, and I was raised in that way. It was really important, the concept of peace and the concept of looking after one another.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the impetus for why it's so important. I think that everybody kind of has to come together.
Yeah. And Dave Stewart brought us together. And of course,
what a guy.
Yeah. And he's been instrumental in making today possible and doing the song with Daryl Hall, an incredible anthem. You're a guitarist yourself. Tell me a little bit about your journey.
So my musical journey started when I was in high school. I started a band with my friend and co-founder of Artists for Action, Neal Saini. That journey took us around the world. We were able to travel, release records, tour, go on the radio. And from that, we had parallel career paths in the music industry until 2018. We came together and formed a company called Artists for Artists that was all about lifting up artists and people. And in 2020, I was working with the John Lennon educational tour bus, and we were at the Grammys, and I met this gentleman named Mark Barden, and I heard his story. He was a professional guitar player until his 7-year-old son, Daniel, was shot and killed at Sandy Hook Elementary. It was a month before I had my first child. And after having 2 children, it really resonated with me every time there was a school shooting in the US. It ripped my heart apart. And I said, what could we do? So I called Mark and I said, Mark, we're here. We're here with the music industry. We want to support your work with Sandy Hook Promise. Please tell me anything. What can we do to help you as a musician and to help the cause of preventing gun violence?
Yeah.
And he said, what if we start a coalition of artists and bring them together? And so we formed Artists for Action.
Yeah. And tell us about Artists for Action.
Artists for Action is a coalition of artists who have come together to prevent gun violence and to end the gun violence epidemic. So we've onboarded artists such as Billie Eilish, Sheryl Crow, Peter Gabriel, Kevin Bacon. There's so many of them. Daryl Hall and Dave Stewart are now part of this initiative, and Dave has been incredible with bringing artists into the fold. And so that's kind of our mission, is to bring those artists and their fan bases together around this concept of peace, nonviolence, gun violence prevention, mental health, social isolation and connection, kind of bring all awareness to all of those aspects.
So whether it's mental health or whether it's peace and some of those things that you've just mentioned then, are you looking at issues and then finding artists to support them? In fact, you've done that today. You brought Mark into this, and of course you created a situation for Peter to be able to introduce Mark. You've been immensely supportive, but I mean, how is that actually working? You're seeing an issue, you're seeing a problem, and then you're finding an artist to attach to it?
Yeah, there's artists that are involved in the coalition in general, so they want to support all these different touch points that we have. We have a live concert series that travels around. We also do PSAs. We also support Sandy Hook Promise, which is an incredible organization that I think everybody should be checking out. But yeah, there's specific projects where we lean in with certain artists. We had just done a tour in the US with a band called Our Lady Peace, and they brought us out to bring awareness to mental health and the importance of mental health. Mm-hmm. And so there's all those different areas that we're touching, but we're trying to bring the artists and what they believe in to the forefront.
Yeah, well, we must get those artists involved in Mental Health Day on the 10th of October, so we can work together on that. Yeah, okay, that's good. I mean, how are you? You're living in America. You're seeing what's going on at the moment, not just in America, but in all sorts of places: Gaza, Ukraine, Yemen, wherever, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan. We can go on and on, can't we? How are you? What are you making of this situation? I mean, violence increasing at an exponential rate. How are you making sense of it all?
I'm not. I'm not making sense of anything. Unfortunately, I try to wrap my head around it every day. My only conclusion is this: what we're doing here right now, we're talking, we're having a dialogue, we're bringing peace to the forefront of the conversation rather than in the background. I think that's so important, and the intimate connections that people have with one another, so important. So how do we bring everybody together and to have these discussions? Yeah. And that's where my mind goes. And also music. What's a better connector than music?
Yeah. And what musicians are really inspiring you? I mean, where do you draw your inspiration from to get your passion to continue the work that you're doing?
Where's Mark Barden? Is Mark Barden over here? Come over here. Get over here. Because this guy, Mark Barden, who you interviewed before, he's the co-founder of San Diego Promise. He's also co-founder of Artists for Action. And this guy keeps me going every day. He's my hero. And really, I wouldn't be doing this without you. And I praise him every day for the tireless work. He has to do this day in and day out. And he's doing it so that everybody else's lives could be better.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark?
What do I say? Thank you. I mean, my wife and I talk about how wonderful Matt and his partner Neal are. Artists for Action is an incredible force. And it's a great way to bring music into this conversation and bring musicians and their fan bases in to talk about this, because we need to do better, and there are ways to do that. And you're doing the work. You're doing the work.
Yeah. And I mean, Mark, you're an amazing guitarist. I mean, this is how Dave Stewart's brought us all together. Are you still playing? Are you still using music?
Yeah, I am, Jeremy, and more so. It's taken me a while. The work with San Diego Promise is pretty much all encompassing, but it's thanks to Matt and to filmmaker Rick Korn, who kind of brought all of this together for us. To tap into the power of music, as Matt said, like, what's a better connector than music? And like I always say, it's universal, fundamental to all human beings that we just want to protect our kids. Music is a great way to reach folks with that message. And so it's like a very organic connection, the way it all works together.
And Mark's very humble. He's shared the stage playing guitar with Sheryl Crow, with Kevin Bacon,
Peter Frampton,
who we brought into this anthem with Dave Stewart and Daryl Hall. I'm sure you're going to play with Dave Stewart soon.
I hope.
You've played with so many different artists through this initiative, and part of the joy is also putting Mark back where he should be.
Yeah, and Matt has been instrumental in doing that and helping me back to music. Thank you.
And it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, look, I've been on the road 26 years trying to raise awareness of this day. We created it, and then raising awareness of it. And artists and actors, the Jude being on the road, or Laura Whitmore, who's hosting today, and Dara Singh and yourselves, and so many others that are involved today. I mean, it's absolutely crucial, isn't it, for you to get your message out in terms of Sandy Hook Promise. I mean, it is. The musicians are fundamentally important, aren't they, for you?
And so are you. This is all part of it, because you're giving us the platform to do this. So Artists for Action, San Diego Promise, Peace One Day, we want this to be a larger partnership moving forward, a global partnership where we could discuss these issues and bring this to the world. I
do find it interesting, though, this point about, when you want, you've got an important message about decreasing violence, and actually we now put constructive narrative out. I mean, we are streaming today. 10 million people probably will stream. I mean, we've worked it out of how to try to get the message out there without having to solely rely on artists and actors. But it is quite interesting how the media are operating and what they're accepting and what they're talking about. And of course, if you have these amazing artists, how much easier it is for us to penetrate. I find that quite interesting.
They all bring their fan bases. They all bring their perspective and their point of view. And if you put that together, that's where the magic is.
And Billie Eilish or Sheryl Crow or Dave Stewart or Kevin Bacon or Peter Frampton. I mean, that's actually what you're doing, isn't it? You're saying, okay, for me to get this message out and to help others, I'm going to need these artists to be involved.
And they've generously donated their platforms and their musical expertise and their musical collaboration and their activist collaboration.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. What do we think? I mean, what in terms of this sort of, there's so many guns, out there. I mean, what do you think the chances are of that ever changing? Will it never change? I mean, are we going to be able to get weapons as easily as we are?
We definitely should not be able to get weapons as easily as we are. I'm afraid that the guns are here to stay in the United States. for at least the foreseeable future, we need to do better at coexisting with them. I always say, if you identify as a responsible gun owner, then you should be doing all of the things that we advocate for. Everything we advocate for is proven effective, saves lives, and is consistent with our Constitution. There's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of room for improvement, and I know we can get there. And again, we can base it all on that fundamental value of protecting our kids. And everybody has a role to play in the greater conversation that we're talking about here, and within our specific gun violence epidemic in the United States. Everybody has a role to play, and that's why Artists for Action is doing so much the important work of getting that message out to a different audience through the work of the artists who also believe in this cause. Everybody should believe in this cause.
Yeah.
And we're not relegated to people who don't own guns. We also want to bring in the gun owners to the discussion.
100%. Yeah. And I know many of gun owners who are 100% on board with everything that we're talking about. It is absolutely possible. We say, we were talking about hope and hopelessness earlier, and it's not inevitable. We don't have to just live with this as a fact of life or as a price to pay for a Constitution. That's not right. It's not cool. It's not acceptable. And it doesn't have to be that way. And we know there's a better way forward.
Yeah. Well, I really wish Matthew, Artists for Action, great success. And Mark, sharing your story today, I'm sure for everyone watching and the people in the room, you're an absolute inspiration, you and your partner. And we fully support you. Wish you the very best with all the incredible work. And for you, Matthew, thank you so much for supporting Peace One Day. Yeah.
Thank you. And I also want to shout out Jackie Barden, who's his wife, who I mean, I don't even need to say anymore.
She is a force to be reckoned with, and the best thing that ever happened to my family and to more people than even realize. I mean, she's amazing.
And we're here for Daniel.
Yes, we are. And for everyone else's kids.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's cool. All right. Okay. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. We'll go back to Dara Singh. Thank you.